I just want to start by saying, does it feel insanely humid today?
Insanely humid.
Listen, I lived in New Orleans. I've traveled all across the South. This is the most dry, arid climate outside of like Phoenix. But I can even make the argument that Phoenix is more humid than Reno. I feel like a layer of sweaty water on me.
So I have this on, which is not heavy, super lightweight, because today was kind of one of those in-between days.
Yep.
I am sweating to death in this thing. Now, I know it's black. I know it has long sleeves, but I should be cool. The wind is blowing, as you can tell from my hair. The wind is blowing like crazy. Like, come on. Like, this is crazy.
It's not enjoyable. It's not what I signed up for.
Look and see. Shall we see what the humidity actually is? I'll look. And
Look live, and people will definitely not laugh because you're just going to be giving a fact about the weather. And I don't know anybody outside of middle-aged men that laugh about that.
So for all the people out there, Kevin and I are dying because we think it's so humid.
Yeah.
15%.
That's a lot. That's double digits. That's excessive.
Kevin.
Somebody turn it down.
There are places that have humidity of like 88%.
I didn't sign up for this.
I know. It feels really hot. You've just got a t-shirt on.
I hate it. I didn't want to put this t-shirt on. I was going to do the first shirtless podcast, but sadly, we're recording, much to everybody's approval.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start this podcast the way I wanted to start it.
Okay.
Deb, do you know what the hottest thing in the tech industry is right now?
The hottest thing?
The hottest thing in tech.
Is it, like, do you think I'd even have a chance of knowing?
I have no doubt that you know. The hottest thing going, the number one thing, the thing all the cool guys are doing of the upper echelon.
Is it like electric cars?
Just give me one hard guess.
Okay. Tech. The coolest guys are doing it.
I didn't say the coolest guys. I said all the upper echelon guys are doing it.
Is it the weird glasses thing with the computer on your glasses?
Deb, it's not. It's divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who is anybody is getting divorced.
Yeah.
We had Sergey Brin get divorced on the sly a couple years ago. We had Bezos get divorced. What is it? 2 years ago. Our boy Bill Gates is now in the news getting divorced. I mean, Elon Musk has been divorced like 3 times, but anybody who is anybody is just chalking up a divorce like it's cool.
Well, so there's a thing, I don't know if you know.
I don't know this thing, do tell.
Called the gray divorce.
The gray divorce, please tell me about that.
Gray divorce is people over 50.
Oh, gray is in reference to hair.
I think that's what the reference is.
Nice.
And so normally their children have left the nest.
Okay.
And they decide that the rest of their life together doesn't look very appetizing.
Isn't as fun without the distractions of children.
Yep.
There is no right or wrong answer. And, sometimes somebody is to blame for a divorce. You only know that if you're in the relationship or have firsthand experience of the person's recounting of the relationship. It must be tough to be divorced in the public eye. It must be even more tough when we're talking 3 commas, 12-digit bank accounts.
Well, I read about Bill and Melinda's divorce today.
Okay. Drop it on me. Drop some B and M divorce knowledge on me.
So there's a thing, and I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it might be like the separation agreement or something. But basically, they've already divided everything. It's done. I mean, it's probably been going on for the last year.
Because they didn't sign a prenup, which is wild.
So great for Melinda, right?
For sure. But listen, what's the difference between $120 billion and $60 billion? Absolutely nothing. But it's still wild that somebody like Bill Gates, who would have been married at 48 to her, because they were married for 27 years, something like that.
Yeah. He's old. He's like 12 years older than she is.
So 48. So
no, he wasn't that old. She was 25.
I thought they'd been married for 27 years. He's 65.
No.
That's math, baby.
Okay. Yeah,
is that math? Right. No, 38.
Yeah, 38. 38 sounds good.
That's math, baby, when you're bad at math. So at 38, he was already a billionaire. Right? He already had so much money. It's weird to me that somebody within his legal team, which he pays hundreds of $1 millions, wouldn't have said, I have no doubt that you're going to be married forever, but just in case, let's sign this thing, because even if you sign it, she's still walking away with a big 9-figure settlement.
So I think he was really wealthy at 38, but I don't think he was a billionaire. Okay.
I think he was.
Well, I mean, we can Google that, but here's the thing. So, divorce records normally are public. People can get access to them. But what people like Bill and Melinda, which apparently it looks amicable, meaning that it's already all been decided, right?
Yep.
And apparently last week or the week before, he transferred tons of stock to her name. Like if anybody were really watching it, they should have they should have taken note of that. Not Microsoft stock, like other stock.
That was the canary in the divorce coal mine?
Probably. And so they said now what'll end up happening on the actual divorce papers, there will just be 1 million references to see separation agreement. And the separation agreement doesn't actually have to ever be made public.
So there's some,
if they don't fight, there's definitely privacy.
It's amicable in that they both said, listen, you might be a horrible human being, Bill or Melinda, but what you don't need is to be dragged through the mud, because there is still a lot of goodwill to do in the world. And the last thing we need is somebody pointing to these public records as a means to discredit anything you're trying to do.
Well, and I do think that the Bill and Melinda wanting to do good work in the world is a true thing. I mean, I believe that is a true thing. So the fact that they're going to continue to do that side by side, I don't know if literally it's side by side, but that's what they say right now.
I mean, they do sit on their own charity together, so I imagine it's somewhat side by side.
But I mean, they've had some weird, if you read about them, I'm not going to say weird. Nothing's weird if both people agree to it and if both people are comfortable with it.
Agreed.
So they've had some, I'm just going to say, unusual norms in their marriage.
Give me one.
So apparently...
I love that you are so well read on both Bill and Melinda and their maybe marriage eccentricities that other people wouldn't find palatable.
So apparently, I would have to Google it. There's a woman, I think her name's Anna something, but she was Bill's ex. Like he dated her before Melinda.
Okay.
And in fact, he went to this woman and said, I think Melinda's the one. Like, what do you think? And she encouraged him.
I'm getting Prince Charles, Diana vibes.
Yep, exactly. A little bit of that. And apparently Bill and Melinda had a deal that once a year, Bill could go, to her house in North Carolina or some beach house somewhere and spend it with her.
That's pretty cool.
Is that cool?
I mean, it's cool if your wife says it's cool.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly and there was an article I read about why Melinda was okay with that and everything. And so that's what I said. It's not weird if they both think it's okay, right?
Credit Bill. Bill's a shooter. Bill took his shot and said, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. If we get divorced in a certain amount of time, your kids' are going to be taken care of. I'm just going to ask once a year, this girl, Anna, who you're aware of, I just want to be able to go spend 1 week with her.
Yep. There's a movie about that, same time next year.
Yeah, and Melinda's a real ride or die, and she said, yeah, okay, Bill, I don't want to see you every single day of every single year. Go.
You're weird too. So Bill also has, I'm trying to think where it is. Is it on an island? I think it's in the San Juans. Bill has it's a very small, I wouldn't call it primitive, but it is not luxurious.
San Juans, for most people, you're thinking the Bahamas. No, they're islands off the coast of Washington.
And Bill goes up there. And in fact, I saw a documentary when he was going, and he takes 20 books with him. And he's up there, I don't know, for a week or two, all by himself. And I think cell phone is off. Bill is I remember there was a small fridge full of Diet Cokes. Do you know what I mean? And he will order food have it delivered from whatever local little restaurant is there. And so I think Bill has the need for some time alone, and time with others.
I don't know it's as much as Bill saying, hey, I need time alone, as much as it's other people being like, hey, Bill, do you need some time alone?
Yeah.
I imagine being around that type of brain is exhausting to normal people. And I'm not saying Melinda's normal. I'm just saying she probably skews more normal than the guy who reinvented how we view computers. That guy probably, you need a big, deep breath from him every once in a while. So after having probably dated him and courted him, she thought, if there's a woman that I could share this lift with, if even for a week, happily. And if I need to dismiss Bill for 10 to 14 days so he can just go read, happily.
But remember that Melinda was something like 23 or 24 when they started dating, and they dated for 5 years, and I think for 4 or 5 years. So she's still 27. I mean, she's still young.
Right.
I mean, so, and I think Melinda is every bit as smart as Bill. I just think she's
worldly.
No, I think she is way more socially adept.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's what I meant.
Think.
She's smart in like street smarts. Bill's book smart, she's street smart.
And she's book smart too.
They needed to complement one another. Like it would have probably been not as successful if Bill married somebody like himself,
right.
Where they were both just total brainiacs. She needed to be the soothing, calm presence where she could deal with people. Really, all I'm trying to say is I have a father.
Yes.
If something happens to Dad, I'm going to need you to get on Tinder.
Oh, to go after Bill?
And swipe right until we see Bill, because I'm telling you this right now. Bjorn Daddy, he's out. Sub in Bill Daddy. Let's start the podcast.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to the Deb and Kev podcast. One is a Harvard Business School alum. The other is her son. Discussing business, pop culture, family, and everything in between. Now, here are your hosts, Deb and Kev.
Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Deb and Kev podcast. I don't know that she's the best mom in the world, but she's the perfect mom for me. It's my mom, Deb.
I'm Deb.
And let's be honest, without me, she couldn't even celebrate this holiday. I'm her son, Kev, and this is our podcast. On today's show, even though it's Mother's Day, we're going to put Deb to work. In her business segment, Deb is going to talk to us about PTSD in the workplace. We have some brand new questions for Dear Debbie. Plus, we'll tell you what we're thankful for. She better say me, because without me, there is no Mother's Day. And even though we're not cooking dinner tonight because it's a holiday for Deb, we'll try to guess what Dad will be making for dinner. We don't know. You don't know. It's a mystery to all of us. But first, Deborah.
Yes.
It's Mother's Day.
It is.
When you think of Mother's Day on the pantheon of holidays, how much do you care or not care about it? And is it related to the amount that I care or don't care about it?
I hope you care more than I do.
Yeah. It's not a lot, but I certainly care about it through the gestures that I do.
So, gosh, I used to make jokes when you were really little. It was super cute, because you'd make breakfast or something that was, adorable.
And it usually falls to the spouse to do the heavy lifting for the day, because what's a 5-year-old going to do besides make a card with crayons?
But that's just, I love you, mommy. You're the best mommy. And you'd bring home these cute little things from school. Then I remember going through a stage where one of my friends and her family wasn't very good about Mother's Day. So my family was much better. But we would leave in the morning, go up to Truckee, have brunch, and then kind of drive around the lake. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we would be home like maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And then that sort of cut Mother's Day in half, which made it easier, honestly, for everybody.
And it really put the burden on us for just half the day.
For half the day.
Really just saying dinner.
And I got to do actually what I wanted to do.
Be away from your family.
Be away from your children. Oh my God. So we did that for a long time. And I feel like you do a good job, I guess, of appreciating me.
Yep.
So I don't feel this like National Mother's Day or International Mother's Day or whatever it is. It's nice to be recognized. But I also I'm kind of weird. Like I'm the person that doesn't want to go out on Valentine's Day because it's too crowded, right?
For sure. And everything's marked up.
And I kind of feel the same way about Mother's Day, And when you go out for Mother's Day, there's invariably that family. No offense to this. I love you, these families. But where there's generations and many small children running around.
Deb loves you. I don't.
So it's not necessarily peaceful. Do you know what I mean? Or quiet.
Yep.
So I would say that my demands for Mother's Day are minimal. Just remember it and say Happy Mother's Day.
I think you make a great point about holidays in general, and it's this. Oftentimes, we don't even celebrate our birthdays on our birthday. But is it any less fun if we celebrate it a day before, a day after, 2 days before? No, because what's happening? You're being celebrated. Your friends or your loved ones are there and they're giving you the attention that you want. I think it's the exact same way for holidays that encourage people to go out. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day. If it's not like a specific date, like Christmas, where really nobody goes out for the most part, they stay home, or New Year's, where it's going to be weird if you celebrate New Year's on January 10th, go on either side of it.
Yeah.
The prices are different. The chaos is much different. Yeah. You almost look cooler if you're giving your mother a gift when nobody else is giving people gifts. I think that's a very smart, calculated thing to do, to where then on the actual day, I can look at you and say, well, honestly, go do what you ultimately want to do. I mean, we'll still make dinner. We'll still be around each other. I'll say Happy Mother's Day to you. A lot of kids don't live with their parents still, but I'll still say Happy Mother's Day to you. And then that Saturday or that Monday or even the following Sunday, we'll go do a beautiful Mother's Day brunch and it'll feel the exact same.
No, I'm with you. I don't care about the hoopla necessarily that day. I mean, probably like, you and I cook dinner most in the house. Yeah. So having to like not have to be involved in a dinner at all would be, I mean, from start to prep to whatever and clean up, that would be amazing.
I would say your threshold for what makes a good holiday is really just, I didn't have to cook, and that was the best day ever. Find you a mom like that, who they're like, give me a card, acknowledge me, make me not cook, and we will call this a huge win.
Yeah, I think that's totally how I am. But I want to say, in defense of all the other mothers who might want whoopala, a lot of whoopala.
I think it's called hoopla.
Hoopla, okay.
We hoopalad it, then we hoopalad it.
Yeah. For all those other mothers that might want more than I do.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So, I think it all depends on, everybody gets to read probably depends on how their family did it, but probably depends too on what they read into the meaning of Mother's Day.
Yep.
And probably depends on, how active their children are in their lives or how appreciative their children are.
Yep.
And I mean, that's the one thing you've got down. I
was going to say,
you've got it down.
You talk to moms, you're friends with moms. You've had friends since prior to me being born who were moms. You'd have friends who I've grown up alongside with their kids. What's the one thing? Give us the